Hello everyone, happy July. I cannot believe that June has already passed. Summer is flying by quickly despite being stuck at home. So anyhow, I hope everyone is doing well. This is Whitney with Strategic Visionaries for your money smarts for the day. So what I wanted to talk to you about today was the importance of disability income insurance. It's actually it's a neglected part of a lot of financial planning scenarios. Many of my clients, when I meet them, are underinsured in this area, and I also find that a lot of financial advisors don't focus on it. They focus on life insurance, which people know more about. People do not know much about disability insurance, so wanted to bring it up. And this is relevant to you if you're an employee or an employer, and whether you are your own boss and just self-employed and you're the only employee, it's even more important in my opinion. So disability insurance, what does it do? So what it does is it protects your income. So what your biggest asset is, if you factor in inflation every year, your income that increases, your biggest asset is not your home, it's not your 401k, it's actually your income. And so what disability insurance does is that it insures your income and it protects your income up until when you retire. And so for that reason, it's one of the most important insurance policies that you can have on yourself. And so what you usually have is, if you are working for an employer that provides it as a disability policy, you get it in your group benefits. And typically the number that is insured is 60% of your income. So if you make $100,000, you receive $60,000 a year in disability income insurance. And when does that pay out? It pays out if you become disabled. And so most people think of injury, but a more common reason for disability is actually sickness. So you could be undergoing chemotherapy. You could have had a surgery that you have a very long recovery for. There's both short-term and long-term disability. Short-term usually lasts 30 to 90 days, and then long-term disability lasts anywhere from 5 years to age 65. And so you can get those policies, like I said, usually through an employer plan. If you have a benefits plan, you can get it through there. So what constitutes a disability is loss of income as a result of your disability. So if you can still continue to work and you're disabled, you're not really defined as disabled, and so you wouldn't receive that income. So oftentimes one of the drawbacks with an employer plan that's provided to you, there are a few. Number one, it's usually taxable benefit. So if you're paying your premium pre-tax, which that's normally the case, then that $60,000 that you receive when you're on disability is taxed at income tax rates. So that could go down to what, 45,000, let's just call it, per year. So that's one drawback. One of the other drawbacks is that it usually covers only a total disability definition. So what that means is that you need to not to be doing any work at all in order to receive that disability income benefit through your employer. And so if you're partially disabled and you had a pay cut, that still won't pay out through your employer. Usually that's the case. So that's another drawback. And third drawback is that it does not cover, usually, and there are some exceptions where employers provide some additional benefits, but it doesn't usually cover your bonus income. It most certainly doesn't cover any stock options that you receive, or any 401k profit sharing that you would get through your employer. So those things stop when you are on disability. So it would only cover 60% of your base unless your employer offers a supplemental plan, which is not normally the case. So the reason that you do want to get disability through work is because if you don't, it costs a lot more money to get something on your own. But what's important is that you get a supplement. If you have significant bonus income, if you have a family that's relying on that bonus income, if you're wanting to insure against a partial disability, that's actually very valuable. And so what that means is that if you have at least a 20% loss of income, you can actually get a partial payout, a prorated payout for the disability. And so there are a lot of benefits to getting, one, something through your employer, and then two, a supplement. And the exact numbers and how that works really depends on your income, what you get through work, and thirdly, if you even have a benefit through work. So if you have that benefit through work, I almost always recommend you take advantage of it. It's usually very affordable. Now, supplementing is a different story. Whether or not you should do that, it depends on your situation, and so you should talk with your financial planner or myself if you have questions on specifically whether or not you need a supplement. But if you do not have that through your employer, or if you're self-employed, you really want to consider getting disability insurance, especially if you're under the age of 50. Those are your prime earning years. You're not very close to retirement yet. And think of all the years of income that you could insure if you have a long-term disability plan. I mean, that you could lose 20 years of income. And that is a significant loss. It would completely get you off track with retirement. And so I strongly recommend looking at it if you're 50 or under, supplementing what you have through work, or if you're a business owner or if you're employed somewhere and you do not have that, I definitely recommend looking into it. The younger you are, the cheaper it is. So just like life insurance, but the big difference, life insurance is insuring against death, and that only benefits your beneficiaries after you pass away. Disability insurance is while you're still living, and it's actually more likely to happen in your younger years than passing away. So you're insuring against a much larger risk, and like I said, I definitely recommend it. And please let me know if you have any questions on that. So that's Whitney Emanuel with Strategic Visionaries, giving you your money smarts for the week. Toodles.